Welcome to the Sports Call. How you doing?
Hi, Rick.
Good. How are you? Hi, Bob and Andrew. Hey, a couple things I'm concerned about the Penguins. It seems like every game now they have the power play. The other team gets a lot of chances shorthanded. I'm concerned. It seems like they give up a lot of odd man breaks. And one thing I think they need is somebody to stand in front of the opposing goaltender to shield him. I just wonder if Boyle could be that person. And I know they tried it with Gensel at one time, but he's too small. I just wonder if Boyle maybe could be that person.
I don't think that's what ails them on the power play. It's just perimeter and fancy. That's the two words that comes around, and you can't do that. I think Gensel, when he's out there, does that. I think Rust can do it. I think other guys, they don't have to be Patrick Hornquist, Andrew, but they have to do something in order to get in the way. But I also think their problems right now are just complete sloppiness when it comes to power plays. They gave up 7 odd man breaks the other day, and you can't do that against good teams because they're going to eat you up. And if it wasn't for Tristan Jarry, they would have been probably down 6 at the time.
And you get those official stats because you were in the big chair doing the game, so I'm not going to challenge you on that break stat, that sloppy giveaway stat. Bob, do you think Rust, Malkin, and Letang will all three be back with the Penguins next year? All three?
No.
Okay, then you go all in this year. And I don't hear enough of that. You know, if you're never going to have this nucleus again, if this is like Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, and Michael Jordan, The Last Dance, remember that documentary, Bob? So good during the pandemic that got us through COVID. And then it was so good, actually, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen don't talk to each other anymore. There was so many raw details and facts in that thing. Doesn't Ron Hextall get the conservative BS out of here? Doesn't he owe it to those guys to go all in this year?
Yeah.
And that to me means you go get Marc-Andre Fleury right now, okay? You bring him in, and you've got both goalies, and that way you're impenetrable on the back end for the playoffs. If you know you're not going to have all three guys, then you get that goalie to make sure you have 2 of the best goalies in the NHL on the back end of things. That would power play. Okay, you could talk about all this other minutia. If you've got that kind of 1-2 punch in net, you're one of the favorites to win the Stanley Cup. So I don't like this long-range planning. If that's what the Penguins are really doing, you got to go all out this year because you're going to lose at least one of those 3 great players this offseason.
And I think, they have the 25th overall pick coming up, a first-rounder. 25 normally doesn't result in players who are going to be around
Oh, you
here
trade that too, don't you, Bob?
Yeah, I do.
You get rid of that thing.
I do, and I'd look, I wish Kapanen would do something to make him more attractive to other people like Zucker. I would get rid of those people if I could, because I still think they need a physical blue line presence. Make no mistake, they miss Teddy Bluger. Him
like
coming
who?
back
Give me a
will help
name,
them.
Bob. You're very smart with these things. Who you got in mind?
Well,
you got a name out there you like?
Like I saw Ian Cole in the press box the other night. He comes to mind. Players like him. I know he's not here because Mike Sullivan didn't want him here, but players like that, who's a plus 11, who's a guy who can mix it up a little bit, give you a different dimension. They have a lot of puck movers. They need more than that. So, and if I could figure out a sniper. Now, I saw something tonight, I don't know if it was true or not, that Phil Kessel, Arizona's going to dump a lot of people because they stink and they're going to play in a 5,000-seat building here because no one's interested. But Kessel is not. I hope they don't get involved in that. I don't, because he's not what he once was. He's become an assist man more than anything else. And, he's a big contract, too. So that would rule him out. But his name is going to be surfacing quite a bit in March 31st or 21st in the trade deadline. We got another Penguins call. We got Ray in Whitehall. Ray, go ahead.
Hi, Ray.
Hey, how you doing? I thought, and I knew this, I said this when this happened, it made no sense for them to take Rodriguez off that top line considering how hot he was.
He still leads the team in power play goals. Did you know that?
Pulled off. But I don't think they should. Why would you mess with something that was working?
Because Crosby, that line is a good line. Here's my thing about that line. I'm not messing that line up. I like that line. It's been the most productive line.
But you did mess the line up. To the caller's point, you took Rodriguez off of it, so you didn't mess it up.
No, I'm talking about Crosby, Gensel, Rust. Rust was injured. That's why that happened. When they're healthy, that line stays intact.
Why couldn't Rust have played with Malkin?
Because I'm not doing that. I'm not going to. Although, the whole idea was Kapanen was going to be the guy to, when Malkin came back, Kapanen is going to really take off. He never has. He has 0 points in 10 games. That's a problem. But I'm not going to break up my best asset to try to satisfy the second line. I think they need Bluger to satisfy a checking line.
I don't disagree with that, but let me ask you a question, Bob. Do you think Rodriguez plays well with Sid?
I think he's played well on the power play. I didn't see enough 5-on-5 to make me know one way or the other. I think Rust gets to play well. Rust has 18 goals in 30 games, all on the Crosby line. That's enough for me. I'm not messing with him.
Well, we got to mess with Malkin to kickstart him, don't we?
No question. That could be a subject
then how do we
of
do
trade.
that?
Again, you're going to have to figure out a way.
But you just said you don't want Kessel. Who do you want?
I don't want Kessel.
Do
you want Kessel?
No, but you're saying
I'm saying
you're trading for
scorer.
a physical blue liner.
Well, I'm giving you options. I'm saying they need that help, and they need somebody up front who can score the goal on the second line. And if they don't have that,
if I was an NHL owner and my GM traded for Kapanen in the next 3 weeks, I'd fire him right away.
Well, that's the problem. They don't have anyone.
Why do you want Penguins trash? Why do you want their recyclables?
What I'm saying is, if he had scored, he would have been somebody you could maybe doubt included in a package deal. Because he can't score, and for that matter, he looks completely lost, you've lost your leverage. Zucker doesn't have much leverage because he's been injured. He's not out there a lot.
Yep.
And all of a sudden now McGinn and Heinen aren't scoring the way they once did. Not that I expect them to.
Well, you never liked those guys.
No,
you were
I did.
never big on those
I liked them
Bob.
as role players. You need role players, but you also need role players to score once.
But you wanted Tanev back. You didn't. You liked Tanev and you liked McCann. You liked both of those guys more than them.
Not McCann. Tanev is who I liked. I liked Tanev, and I still do, but he's injured now, not for the year, I think. We got to take a break. We went way over. Oh, my goodness. Sorry about that. We'll try to squeeze in a couple calls when we come back right here live on Pittsburgh CW and 93.7 The Fan.